order. Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, it is Wednesday, November 15. Welcome to our special called meeting of the Tennessee Board of Regents. And thank you for making time this morning. We will use your time well, but it is an important day as we consider the Chancellor's recommendation for the next president of our TCAT Dixon. To anyone who's joining us online or watching, welcome. Just as a reminder to our regents, we do live stream these calls or Zooms, and they are archived for several years. So with that, Secretary Perry, why don't you get us started by calling the roll?
Thank you. Since this is an electronic meeting, there are 2 questions that need to be answered by regents for the record. First, can the regent simultaneously hear and speak with others participating in the meeting? And second, is the regent alone in the room? If the answer to both questions is yes, the regent can simply answer yes to both. Anyone who is not alone should identify any other people present in the room with the regent. When I call your name, please answer these 2 questions. Governor Lee. Regent Apple.
Here and yes to both questions.
Regent Burdine.
Yes to both questions.
Regent Garden.
Here and yes to both questions.
Regent Gentile. Regent George.
Yes to both questions.
Regent Gill.
Here and yes to both questions.
Commissioner Hatcher. Regent Hooper. Regent Kastner.
Yes to both.
Regent Pilkington.
Here and yes to both.
Regent Powers.
Present and yes to both.
Madam Chair Reynolds.
Here and yes to both.
Commissioner Reynolds. Regent Roberts.
Here and yes to both.
Regent Spurgeon.
Here and yes to both.
Regent Varlin. Regent Varlin, you may be muted.
I am, I'm sorry. Here and yes to both.
Thank you, ma'am. And Regent White.
Here and yes to both.
Madam Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Well, as you all well know, we were asked to meet electronically today to review and consider the recommendation for the next president of TCAT Dixon. And since we have such a limited time between the selection of the candidate being recommended and our desired start date for that position, the assembly of a quorum to be physically present simply was not practical. So since this necessity to meet electronically is a non-controversial and routine item, I would propose that we adopt this by unanimous consent. Of course, as always, if anyone would prefer to have an individual vote on the necessity to meet electronically, feel free to object, and we will conduct a roll call vote. But if there is no objection, that necessity to meet electronically is adopted. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the necessity to meet electronically is adopted, and thank you very much. Chancellor, would you do the honors, the recommendation for the next president of the TCAT Dixon?
Absolutely. Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the board. It is my pleasure to bring to you this morning the recommendation for the next president of TCAT Dixon. As you recall, on August 15th, 2023, the board approved the search criteria for the next president at a special called meeting. Vice Chair Emily Reynolds served as the chair of the search advisory committee, along with Regent Nisha Powers and Regent Pilkington. Also serving on the committee were representatives from the college, local civic, and industry leaders were also represented. I want to thank each and every member of the Search Advisory Committee for their commitment and support. And I also want to thank Associate Vice Chancellor April Preston and Mariah Perry from the Central Office for the great job they did in coordinating this search. After careful review of the applicants, interviews, and input from the Search Advisory Committee, Madam Chair, I am pleased to recommend to you Laura Travis as the next president of TCAT Dixon. Ms. Travis is currently TCAT Dixon's Executive Vice President of Academic Affairs and Compliance. She joined TCAT Dixon in 1998 as Health Affairs Coordinator, and her responsibilities expanded to Academic Affairs Coordinator in 2015. She was appointed the college's Vice President in 2020 and then to her current position in 2021. She earned a Bachelor of Science degree in nursing and a Master's of Science degree in nursing administration, both at Tennessee Tech. Prior to joining the TCAT Dixon faculty, she worked as a registered nurse and team leader at Home Care Solutions in Dixon, and previously as a registered nurse at St. Thomas Hospital in Nashville. And Madam Chair, I don't believe that we've had such an easy search in a very long time. It was clearly evident not only to the committee but to the faculty and staff at the campus that Laura was our perfect choice for this position. So that concludes my recommendation, Madam Chair.
Well, thank you, Chancellor, for an excellent recommendation. And I'll just add on a little bit about the search committee to what the Chancellor said. Of course, Laura was our sole finalist, but we did have 26 applicants from around the country. The search committee met in late August on the 28th. Then on August 5th, we met to consider and select candidates for a round of interviews. And we interviewed 5 candidates in mid-October on the 18th. And as a result of those interviews, our sole finalist participated in an interview on campus on November 3rd. It was really a pleasure to serve as chair of the committee, but in fact, what makes it fun and exciting is to have folks on the committee from the college who are just outstanding and who truly care about TCAT Dixon and their growing presence in Clarksville. Folks from the community who know the college so well and who know of Ms. Travis's contributions to the community. So a very special group. It was a pleasure to get to know everyone. So with that, I fully support the Chancellor's recommendation to hire Laura Travis as our next president. And I have a sneaking suspicion there's a certain regent who happens to be part of that team at the TCAT Dixon who might want to call for a motion. Regent Pilkington?
Motion to move.
Thank you very much, Regent
Very
Pilkington.
excited.
Thank you. Say that again, Laura. I'm sorry.
I just said I'm very excited to be able to do this today.
Excellent. Thank you. And Regent Powers, to you, thanks for your service as well. May I call on you for a second?
And you have a second. Thank
Indeed.
you.
Thank you.
It's
Any further?
Sorry, I was just going to say it was
Please.
a great interview, and it was obvious who should be doing this. Thank you.
Thank you. Regent Pilkington, any further comments?
I would just like to say how excited, of course, that I am, but all of us at TCAT Dixon. Laura has always been such a mentor, such a leader, and there's not a better person to lead TCAT Dixon than Laura Travis. I get a little emotional right now, actually. We're very excited.
Well said. Beautifully said. That sums it up. With that, unless there are any comments or questions from the regent, I would like to call on our secretary, Mariah Perry, to call the roll once again.
Regent Apple.
Aye.
Regent Burdine.
Aye.
Regent Garton.
Aye.
Regent George.
Aye.
Regent Gill.
Aye.
Regent Kastner.
Aye.
Regent Pilkington.
Aye.
Regent Powers.
Aye.
Madam Chair Reynolds.
Aye.
Regent Spurgeon.
Aye.
Regent Varlin.
Aye.
And Regent White.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Excellent. Laura Travis, you have made so many great contributions to our college and to the community. Congratulations, and the floor is yours as you assume the presidential role at the TCAT Dixon in Clarksville.
Thank you all so much. It truly is an honor to be selected to serve as the next president of TCAT Dixon. I am dedicated to continuing the excellence of the college while leading our faculty, staff, students, and community partners. I'm so grateful to Chancellor Tidings and the Board of Regents for this opportunity to serve the college that I love so much. When I take this role on December 1st, it will be the 25th anniversary of when I first began at TCAT Dixon. And I'm so thankful for the past, but I'm very excited about our future. Thank you all again.
Well, thank you. Happy anniversary and congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
there's
you.
there's a certain excitement in that. So,
There
and
is.
thank you for expressing your gratitude to us, but we're the ones who are grateful to you for the job you've done and the job you will do. And here's to 25 more years.
Thank you.
As we move forward. As Chancellor said, we can't imagine a better person to take this job. So thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Laura. Well done. Chancellor, do you have any further comments for the board this morning?
Again, just congratulations to Laura. We are so excited to have you in this role and just looking forward to working even more closely with you. I also do want to take a moment to thank the board for meeting again. I know we've asked you to have a lot of special called meetings lately, but allowing us to do this one today so that we didn't have to have an interim. Jeff Sisk also thanks you for that. But the smooth transition that we'll have because Rita's last day is the end of November, and then Laura will step right in on December 1st, and we will not miss a single beat. So thank you so much for coming together today and to appointing Laura as the next president. I think we're going to see great things to come, and I agree with Regent Reynolds. The next 25 years, you're going to do great there.
Oh, thank you, Chancellor, and to President Summers. Job well done. We will honor her at our December 12 meeting, but we are in her debt. She's been a terrific member of our team at various locations across Tennessee, and tremendous legacy. So as Chancellor said, thanks you guys for carving out time today. But this was timely and it's important. This is a sign of progress, so important to get this done. As I mentioned, we are all together December 12th for our quarterly meeting back in Nashville. Does anyone have any further business to come before the board this morning? Hearing none, with the exception of taking a moment to simply say happy Thanksgiving and safe travels. Look forward to seeing you next month. There is no further business to come before the Board of Regents, and we stand adjourned. See you soon.